Wherever could that blasted mercenary be? Greetings, my friend. Fancy meeting you all the way out here. Perhaps you could help me once more. I need an escort for my expedition. I expect we'll encounter some danger along the way, but I'm sure it's nothing you can't handle. And put simply, I found records of an ancient temple, somewhere in this very forest. I've come to study what secrets it may hold. I will warn you, Ebon Stadmont can be tricky to navigate. You'll have to keep a lookout. Travelers become lost, sometimes for days. From what I heard, the forest appears to shift as you move through it. We'll need to keep close together. So, want to help me unlock an ancient mystery? I must say, I do pay well. Thank you for accepting my offer. I'm quite excited to be heading my own expedition. Tellinger may have a great mind, but sometimes he's a bit much. It's nice to finally be able to break free from being just his assistant. Oh no, of course not. The Mages Guild still requires me to accompany him on his expeditions. I've just taken a short sabbatical, is all. As soon as I finish my research here, I'm sure I'll be off on more hair-raising adventures. Well, being Tellinger's assistant is informative in many ways, but I think now's the time to prove to the Mages Guild, and to myself, that I can strike out on my own. Ebon Stadmont just happened to catch my interest. The ruins within Ebon Stadmont are ancient, perhaps even built in the Merethic era. They contain inscriptions of a mysterious language, which only a few have begun to translate. I believe these inscriptions can help in a temple. It's old, even for a High Elf's perspective. I found translations of only a few phrases, and even those are sparse. An interesting topic for a linguist, perhaps, but for me it's only the means to an end. The temple is all I wish to investigate. As I said before, this forest is tricky to navigate. The pathways twist and shift as you walk through it. That's why the temple hasn't been explored previously. Following these inscriptions should lead us to the temple. Not much. Even though one can see the temple through the trees, the forest has made all research near impossible. It most likely was a place of worship, now abandoned. For some reason, the worshippers wished for the temple to remain inaccessible. The nature of this forest doesn't allow travelers to simply walk to the temple we seek. Someone must have used magic to accomplish this, in order to keep outsiders from entering. Luckily, the inscriptions here should guide us. We're looking for inscriptions. Alert me once you see any gibberish carved into stone. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why, it's almost as if I can hear the words. Sel Ra Ang Yond. Eastern Temple? Daedra? I don't have time for distractions. Could you hold them off while I finish translating? The inscription indicates that the temple is further up. Quick, follow me! Hello? I think we got separated! I swear I was walking in the opposite direction. Well, let's carry on. How did we get separated? I was just behind you! This way! I'm over here! Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription will help guide us. Aha! Now let's see. That voice again. Para Ekne. Past pathway? Daedra again? We don't have time for this. The temple should be just ahead.
Hurrah! Volisto! The past revealed.
Take care of that thing before it takes care of us. I need help down here. Thank the stars. I think he's coming too. Let's hear what this Mer has to say. Perhaps he'll know what's going on in this forest.
Am I really an Aetherius? I didn't know they let your kind in here. We of the House of Reveries have no names, only masks. But you can call me Fletch, because I specialize in the art of the bow, see? Oh, my aching head. How did I end up here? I don't remember a thing. Eben Stadmont... I'm sorry, but I just don't remember. I must have come here with my traveling troupe, though. I wouldn't have left Relenthal without them. Someone must have ambushed me. A ferocious someone, given my state. Daedra? Mara's elbow, that doesn't sound good. Could you help me find my troop leader, Maestro Forte? I need to warn him. He should be somewhere nearby, I think. Forte! Is that you?
Fletch! What's happened? The whole troop is looking for you.
Grand Maestro Forte? Why, I had no idea you were in Eben Stadmont.
Grand? Oh no, I'm simply Maestro Forte. Hardly worthy of the title Grand yet.
Grand Maestro Forte's here as well? Why, this just gets more curious by the minute. Come, let's speak with him.
It appears you've saved Fletch from the brink of death. Of Temerian, who of course was saved by the Nereids of... but now is not the time for such tales. Tell me, what has happened? Daedra? I had no idea. Our watch did report some strange creatures prowling about at night, but I've heard of no other attacks. Something must be attracting them here. Did you just come from the temple? The only thing of note I discovered within the temple is a glowing stone in its main chamber. I've yet to translate the stone's inscription, but it may be attracting Daedra to it. I found a similar stone nearby. Can you help me investigate? Excellent. Why don't you and your companion head to the stone? Just follow the path north. I'll escort Fletch to our camp and make sure he's seen to. We'll meet back here afterward and share our findings.
I know this is strange, but let's get to this stone. Perhaps it can answer some questions. The House of Reveries in Eben Stadmont? Why wouldn't I have heard about that? This is all so strange. I just need a moment to think, puzzle it all out. Come, let's head to that northern stone.
Fall away. Future's door.
Did you hear it too? That woman's voice. At first I thought I was imagining it. Future's door. A House of Reveries expedition I've never heard of. Grand Maestro Forte rebuffing his proper title. And the temple room where we found Fletch? It looked the same as the room we first entered, but there wasn't a cobweb or broken pew in sight. It means we ventured somewhere we never should have gone. The past. I know it seems far-fetched, but remember that stone we first activated? I thought the inscription referenced an event, but the past was a destination, not an occurrence. That's my theory, and I'd rather not explore further to find out. Affecting the past has far-reaching consequences. It makes me wonder what trouble we've already caused. But this stone's inscription indicates it should send us back to the present. I can't be sure in all honesty, But we have to try. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the past. This stone should lead us back to our natural time. All you need to do is keep that destination clearly in your mind. I'll follow right behind you. It is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro Forte is the head of Summerset's greatest acting troupe, the House of Reveries. But I've also heard tell that he's a great academic as well, though perhaps I'm more familiar with his work than I thought. The research I've been using to help translate the language here came from an expedition that occurred around this time. Perhaps Maestro Forte wrote the very notes that led me here. I'll ask him, but I'd rather not affect the past more than we have. Well, Fletch was very close to death, and I recall seeing bones in our present time, right where I found him injured. Most likely he was supposed to die. I'm almost glad I was so ignorant when I healed him. I don't know what I would have done. As I said earlier, changing the past has far-reaching consequences. For all I know, healing Fletch could have dire consequences to our present. I would have had to weigh his life against the potential impact of that change. Quite a somber thought. I've been hearing this voice since I first started translating these inscriptions. It must be some sort of magic, connected to the inscriptions. Perhaps connected to the language itself, come to think of it. Oh, it is rather odd for a mysterious language to speak to anyone who reads it. The misdirecting nature of Ebon Stadmont must have kept researchers from studying these inscriptions, that's all. Not to mention the local wildlife. I'm not sure what to tell you. I do know that we have to return to our time, and quickly. This mysterious voice, whatever its motivation, is the only thing helping us do that. We have little choice but to follow it now. It is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro Forte is the head of Summerset's greatest acting...
Who's there? By Xarxes. It's you. Years and years, and I never could find you. And here you are, back where it all began. Looking as if you haven't aged a day, my friend. What happened to you? So the stone did send you to the future after all. I had feared the worst. That day I tried to follow after you and return to our original time. But the stone's magic faded, and the doorway closed. Try as I might, I couldn't get it to open. I was trapped within Ebon Stadmont. For decades, I'd been studying this language and desperately searching for a way out. But my path would always lead me back here. But I did it. I finally found a way to go back, to stop this all from happening. I must stop myself from ever going back in time. I've been wasting my life within this cursed forest. The Southern Stone. That's the key to... Wait, what's that? Is that Fletch? Fletch! Ah!
I'm sorry, dear, but your role has been cut.
The temple. You must go back. Go through the temple. The Southern Stone. Bane away Tendel. Those are the words. Stop this from happening. Take my diary. It will prove everything.
time for the grand finale of our little production. And thus the play continues. I'll see you soon.
Such an effort to escape me. I suppose I have what I need.
Well, I suppose it's curtain call. You finally figured it out. Well, and Derwin figured it out, didn't she? But hey, you put all the legwork in. And here you are, just in time to stop our leading lady from ever performing her starring role. Ah, but did you kill me? Truly? Not even an accomplished healer could bring me back? And yes, I did take part in Derwin's final scene. Or rather, I will. All a matter of perspective there, you see. But she shouldn't have tried to cut the act short. Derwin was the leading lady of our production. It was up to her to uncover the mysteries of Ebon Stadmont, to find the true potential of its hidden power. But she found a way to escape, and in her last breath told you the way back to the start. Sadly, yes, and so my part must end as well. I put on quite the performance, though, don't you think? The poor, confused soul, the dastardly villain, the mysterious sage. But I think you have a task to do, don't you? A dying wish to fulfill? Yes, our heroine should be just outside, if I remember correctly. After so many times around, though, I tend to lose track. Well, no need to get into all of that. I told you the very first time we met, I'm Fletch. I used to be a mere actor, but now I serve a greater force. I've served her for quite a while now, helping to find the true power of Ebon Stadmont. With Derwin's help, of course. What did Derwin call her? Ah, the Spirit of the Sanctum. An appropriate title as any. She rules over this forest. I think she always has, though I'm not quite sure. She needed the power here, you see. Ebon Stadmont was integral to her plans. Don't bother asking me. Mostly because I have no idea. I would have died had the spirit not saved me. And it wasn't too bad. A supporting role at best. I'd make sure the loop continued, make sure Derwin kept researching again and again. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I barely understand, and I've lived through it. And it's done now, in any case. You made sure of that. But I think the spirit learned enough. It will have to do. The language here, of course. You see, it's all rather tricky. Only mortals are able to use the language. That's what allowed you to travel through time after all. And Derwin was the perfect candidate to uncover its secrets. Yes, all our heroine needed was the proper motivation. Derwin was trapped within the forest, unable to get out. Then she would hear a whisper, guiding, always guiding. And as Derwin used the language, my mistress would be watching. What did Derwin call her? Ah, the Spirit of the Sanctum. An
There you are! How did you get inside without me seeing you? We finally made it to the temple. Oh, I just can't wait to see what secrets are inside. The temple is a trap? What do you mean? A book? Why, this is my handwriting. I've been trapped within this forest for decades now. Trapped within the past. My face is filled with wrinkles. My heart darkened with regrets. My life was stolen from me. Something trying to... My goodness. This is all so hard to wrap my head around. Yes, I agree. You've gone above and beyond protecting me during this expedition. Though the details seem a bit complicated, to think I would have been trapped here, I'd say our contract is concluded. Thank you for all you've done. I suppose I did succeed in this expedition. The notes you've given me are written by my hand after all. Though of course that me won't exist now since you've stopped me and I'm going to stop now. Before my head hurts. I'm sure these notes will give me more details. The best thing to do now is share our findings with the Mages Guild. Let them know how dangerous this forest truly is. Me, I'll join back up with Tellinger. You know, it may be silly, but I suppose I came here to step out of his shadow. If I could be the one to crack Ebon Stadmont, well, perhaps that would be enough. And then I was trapped in the past to serve a mysterious being. Oh, I would have been. Tellinger is the one who makes brash decisions and puts us all in danger, and I'm the one who helps fix it. Yet as soon as I lead, I find myself in the same position as him. For now, I'd rather clean up his messes rather than make my own. Well, it is a lovely view, once you put aside all the strangeness. I suppose I did succeed in this expedition. I suppose I did succeed in this.
If you've come to rob me, I'm afraid I have little of value. I can help if you've a high fever or nervous stomach.
But I have no need for gold these days. Healthy paranoia, I suppose. There's plenty of questionable characters out here, but I prefer it to the crowded cities. Too many going on about their appearance or their status or their career. I'm done with such trivialities. Oh, it's been a long time since my former student has contacted me, and now she makes such demands. How quickly she forgets who trained her to hold a paintbrush. I have no need for gold. You can tell her that upon your empty-handed return. This is Yokudan blue tea? I thought it lost forever. The last shipment was said to have sunk to the bottom of the Abyssan Sea. Oh, she's still clever, isn't she? Her and Veralel always were. Very well, take my mixture. It's a good trade. Yes, back when I had the inclination to bother with such upstarts, I thought that would be my legacy, to train great artists who would blossom under a careful eye. Sadly, all they did was rot in their own hubris. The life of a Summerset artist is not easy. It's not enough to be merely great. You have to be better. Both Tindoria and Verarel wilted under that pressure. I blame myself for agreeing to tutor them together. Their rivalry seemed harmless at first, even friendly, just something to keep them motivated. But as it tends to be, one of them was always a step ahead. Soon any praise I had for one would pierce the pride of the other. And now they've both grown bitter and endlessly jealous of the other's success. They believe Summerset only has room for one great artist. Such foolishness. Honestly, it was their squabbling that led me to stop taking students.
Ah, this one has been looking for you. Raz's investigations have brought him to Relenthiel. When this one noticed your Sijic friend slip into town, Raz figured you'd be along soon. So, what did you discover on Arteum, the island that isn't here anymore? Ugh, that made Raz's head hurt. Yes, this one has been exploring the Daedric connection as well. But Raz hates Daedra. In Raz's experience, very little good comes from dealing with Daedra or their cultists. And this revelation brings you to Relenthiel, yes? That is disturbingly vague. Why must cryptic cultists be so... cryptic? Well, Raz saw Valserin head toward Canonry Farmeldo's house. This one suggests we start our investigation of the area there.
I heard you let the Tooth Mole trader go free. I guess everyone deserves a second chance.
You there. You're new to Relenthiel, aren't you? You certainly look like an outsider. I regret the necessity, but I must beg your aid. My brother is about to make a terrible mistake and join an appalling organization. Worse, an acting troupe. The House of Reveries may be famous across Summerset, but my brother is one of the most gifted academics of our generation. For him to waste his talents performing for rich nobles is just irresponsible. I fear he's already signed up, and that's why I require you as an ally. I'll need you to infiltrate the acting troupe. Laredale, my brother, knows my face, but he does not know yours. You must find him for me so I can talk him out of this. Auriel himself would smile on your kindness. Now, we haven't a moment to waste. The House of Reveries is hosting auditions this very moment. You must present yourself to Alchemy, the audition master, and impress her with your performance. Well, they don't take just anyone. Only the most talented performers even get an audition, but don't worry, I've already devised a solution. I've enchanted a set of knives that will allow you to juggle with perfect rhythm. They would impress anyone. Oh, it's quite simple, really. Toss one in the air and relax your mind. Your hands will do the rest. I've used them a number of times and never cut myself, and I'm about as coordinated as a drunken mud crab. I'm certain you'll impress a sponsor. Laredale and I have studied magic all of our lives, and have found few who match our skills. I knew it only a matter of time before a great opportunity came along, but even I was shocked when we were invited to join the Sapiarchs. Yes, a rather rare and momentous occasion. You're currently looking at the new assistant to the Sapiarch of Artifice. Not a position to be taken lightly. But how does Laredale react to such incredible news? He runs away to join the theater. I have no idea. He just left a letter saying not to look for him. I suspect it's just nerves. I can't imagine leaving my brother behind to rot here in Relenthiel. I need to find him and help him see reason. At first I tried to search for him myself, but Laredale is an even more powerful mage than I. He was able to obstruct any spell I cast to find him. I was able to track him here using more mundane means, but it set me back a month. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what is going through his head right now. For him to even consider wasting his talent on entertaining nobles with parlor tricks, why, it's simply unthinkable. What, and let this madness continue? No, Laredale is both a mage and researcher of extraordinary talents. He would be of great benefit to Summerset, perhaps even all of Tamriel. I just need to speak with him and I'm sure I'll convince him to leave. Laredale and I have studied magic all of our lives, and have found few who match our skills. I knew it. Yes, I have no idea. He just left a letter. From what I understand, it starts with impressing a sponsor. A senior member of the House of Reveries selects applicants who they believe have demonstrated talent. They then train that applicant for a final audition in front of the Grand Maestro. It determines if you'll be accepted into the troupe or not. Not that you truly need to worry about that. As long as you acquire alchemy as your sponsor and are allowed access to other hopefuls, you should be able to find out where Laredale is. In this case, alchemy is a mer, not a practice. She's a member of the troupe and sponsor to the current potentials. They all have silly names like that. Banter, serenade, clever. Just another complication in our ever-eventful search.
Go inside and we'll discuss this later. And take off that ridiculous hood.
Ridiculous? I'll show you what's ridiculous. I'll show you all!
I'll let you handle the cannon reeve. I'm a bit out of practice in dealing with the niceties of Summerset society. I wouldn't want to inadvertently cause insult.
You think as Canon Reeve I'd be immune to the troublesome temper of a spoiled and rebellious child. But what distinguished visitors I have today. A wandering sage, a well-dressed Khajiit, and you. What brings such a group to Relenthiel? Investigating. For who? Well, there have been 3 reports this week of someone disappearing. And my intractable son Nadoril and his malcontent friends have been cavorting around the large sinkhole that recently appeared. What are you implying? They're just young and proud of their heritage. I wouldn't draw such a harsh conclusion without substantial evidence. I can't understand why they're fascinated with the sinkhole, but that doesn't make them criminals. It's unusual for newcomers to encroach upon Altmer affairs, especially since we rarely saw any prior to the Queen's decree. If you want to investigate, I won't try to stop you. And if anything happens, maybe it will teach my son to avoid the place.
Raz wants to ask the Cannon Reeve a few more questions. Take the Sijik and go investigate this sinkhole.
I'll meet you in the sinkhole.
Dawnbreaker, open the way! Oh, come on! Stupid Daedric interference! I'll be back!
on, and one of those horrible creatures tore off my hood!
That young woman was certainly in a hurry. And what was that about an Adoral and an attack? Yes, well, let's be on our guard then. I don't think this sinkhole is completely natural. Its size concerns me. If the ground continues to fall away, it could swallow all of Relenthal. It certainly feels dangerous, and if it does figure into the Court of Bedlam's plans, well, I can't think of a more frightening event than watching Relenthal get swallowed by a sinkhole. Let's proceed and find out what's going on down here. The walls and ceiling, they don't look stable. I'll try to reinforce the weak spots and catch up with you. More of those Yagra creatures. Be careful.
Someone there! Help! Please help!
Crazy bastard stabbed me! God, this hurts! It was just kind of fun, joining the Court of Bedlam, espousing the virtues of our Ultima heritage. But Adoral, he took things too far. When we heard that they planned to release those creatures, I made the mistake of saying they were insane. Adoral objected, called me unworthy. That's when he stabbed me.
The Court of Bedlam will eradicate the lesser races. Maybe even deal with our unworthy queen.
Over here. Keep quiet and tell me if you see what I see. You see that, right? My eyes aren't playing tricks on me. That's a sea slode. They haven't been seen in Summerset since, well, it's been centuries at least. A vile and dangerous species. Very powerful. The sea slode come from the distant underwater kingdom of Ulvorkus. Who's that hooded figure with the slode? And look, more of those abyssal pearls. They're everywhere. The slode are a godless people. Perhaps the most hated in Tamriel. And the sea slode are even worse. They employ depraved magic and have long coveted Summerset. They believe it once belonged to them. They pillage, release plagues. They're horrible. The hooded figure could be a member of this so-called Court of Bedlam. At this point, nothing would surprise me. That slode has me worried, though. I can't think of anything worse than an alliance between those foul beasts and Daedric cultists. The slode are a godless people. They could certainly have a connection to the sea slode's submerged kingdom, but they appear to have been placed down here. Look how the Yagra are drawn to them. I'll head for the sea slode. You deal with those abyssal pearls.
Master! Intruders in the cave!
Heed me, my creatures! Destroy the intruders!
That young idiot. We need to get over there.
Witness the power of Katora, the Abyssal Cabal!
This way. We're almost there. Destroy the pearls! We can't let those creatures reach the surface! The sea slode and the hooded figure are gone. I'll try to determine where they disappeared to. This way! Up here! Damn! No sign of where the sea slode disappeared to. Damn it! I wasn't fast enough. For the time being, let's see what's through that opening. The sea slode left us something to remember it by. We need to dispatch that creature. There! I think we can get out over there.
Hurry, this way! Somehow Raz knew he'd find you here.
Sea slodes? This is worse than the Rightmaster imagined. Meet me in Artaeum after you talk to the Queen's Eye.
Did the pretty Sijik say sea slode? No, Raz must have heard wrong. That could not have been what she said. Slode? That's bad. And sea slode? That sounds even worse. If the sea slode threatens Summerset, Queen Irene must be informed. We need to act. Wait, what did you say about the Cannon Reeve's son? Daedra worshippers. In Summerset. And slode. Oh, Raz likes this situation less and less. As for Nedoril, Raz knows how to deal with traitors. This one will meet you at the Cannon Reeve's house.
The Eye of the Queen? How dare you accuse my son of treason? The Queen's Eye? How dare he not identify himself when he first arrived? And how dare he accuse my foolish son of something as serious as treason? The Queen shall hear of this, mark my words. Sea slode? Plus all this nonsense about Altma's superiority, and now murder? I am the Cannon Reeve of Relenthil, I took an oath to serve and protect my community. How in the Queen's name am I supposed to reconcile my son's actions? Oh, Nadoril, what have you done? Please, you must talk to the Queen's Eye. He needs to show mercy. I'm sure we can find a way to resolve this without... Oh, here comes Nadoril now.
I have a lot to answer for? The Court of Bedlam is going to turn me into a god!
Foolishness can be ignored. Murder and treason, not so much.
You and your queen have no authority over a true Ultima, you mangy cat.
This one cannot allow your crimes to stand unanswered.
Nadoril! No! No! I understand. Relenthil is loyal to the Queen.
Sometimes the eye sees treason and must cut it out before it spreads. This one is sorry you had to witness that. Blasphemy, treason, murder. How many crimes must one commit to attract the attention of the executioner's blade? Raz decided that a message had to be sent. Enemies of the Queen will not be tolerated. Treason and the Queen's justice are serious business. Raz has been forced into this role on rare occasions, but he never seeks it out or looks forward to wielding the blade. A necessary part of my job, yes. No. Raz will see to the Cannon Reeve and send word to the Queen before looking deeper into the Court of Bedlam. You should return to Arteum and let the Siegiks know what we learned. I tell you, Five Claw, this whole situation makes Raz want to hiss.
The House of Reveries has long been honored as the greatest acting troupe within Summerset. That's no coincidence, of course. The performers here have given up every aspect of their past in order to pursue the art of performance.
The name's Mead. A little silly, I know, but I thought it fitting. Might not be quite as fancy as the other performers, but then again, neither am I.
This may sound a little strange, but do you mind helping me out? I've written a play, you see, but I'm too embarrassed to show it to anyone yet. Would you mind running some lines with me, just so I can get a feel for it? Excellent! Here's a copy of the script. Now, you're playing the role of a noble high elf who's fallen in love with a Khajiit trader. I'll be playing the Khajiit. Please, start at the top of page 8.
This one is sorry, my turtle dove. Though this one thinks you are 5-clawed and well-groomed, his love is only for the freedom which the sea provides. Every day he shall think of you. The beauty of Summerset is only matched by your face. Perhaps the love of the sea pales next to the love this one has for you. But how could we ever be together? I am but a rugged sea captain with nothing to my name but my charm and good looks. Your family would never approve us to be wed. Where would we go? The rough, hard sea is no place for a flowering dove such as yourself. No, this one must depart, yes, but he will always remember you. He will always remember us.
And scene. So, what do you think? And be honest. Really? I suppose it is a tad rough. Perhaps if I threw on a few more innuendos. Well, I'll give it another go, but I really do think I'm on to something here.
You can do this, Ashala. You can. Oh, my stomach.
Well, I think that's quite enough. Next. Well done. Come, talk. No more auditions for today.
Oh, curses!
Of all the rotten luck.
My, you certainly do have a talent for juggling. One might almost say your hands work like magic. Tell me, why do you wish to join the House of Reveries? A wonderful answer, but it's not very creative, is it? I'd work on that. You'll want something more dramatic if you wish to impress the Grand Maestro. Still, I'd be happy to sponsor you for house membership, if you complete my challenge, of course. When we join the troupe, we abandon our old selves and take an identity reflected in our masks. What unique item suits you, I wonder? A griffin feather? Yes, that would be lovely. Go collect a feather and meet me in front of the Manor of Masks. Oh, not much, I'm afraid. I have many names, but my true name is spoken only in the dead of night, and only in the softest whispers. I am the daughter of a dragon, and a rather robust Telvanni. I spit fire and turn into a wyvern on the full moon. Only me, of course. I'm teasing you. I was actually born whole from the earth when a lonely sapiart cast a spell to create a wife. He was attractive, I'll give him that, but boring, so I left him with a mud pie and ran off to join the theater. Oh, you're no fun. I'm actually a simple farmer's daughter who learned to mimic voices when I was but a babe. A life of ploughs and livestock was not for me, sadly, so here I am. Do you understand? We can be anyone here. You can be anyone. Why, I put you through your paces. After all, I've deemed you worthy to perform for the Grand Maestro himself. Whether he offers you membership is beyond my ken, but I've never made the mistake of leaving him bored. See that you don't embarrass me. You may join us, if you wish. Cast aside your old life, become who you truly wish to be. Live for your art, for the stage, for the sound of applause. But you must never reveal your old identity. It is our only absolute. Have you happened to meet an artist in Summerset? Had that distinct pleasure? All they care about is fame. But within our troop, we live only for our passion. To prove that devotion, we rid our past and live only for the present. We always wear a mask. To your mother, you are an innocent child. To your lover, a sinful treat. A friend to your companions, a terror to your enemies. But many here find their true selves within their craft, within their passion. I know I have. Did I? Well, let's see. Have you taken a lover recently? What was their name? Oh, are you in a committed relationship? Or was it a one-night tryst? Did you lift them to the heights of ecstasy or leave them unfulfilled and disappointed? It's a question, isn't it? A personal question like yours, a question one stranger should never ask another in polite company. I have sponsored many in my time with the House of Reveries, just as one once sponsored me. Those names are theirs alone. you've returned intact. How wonderful. I was worried the griffin might have been a bit too much, but I see you're not one to be easily deterred. Good. Tell me, how did you acquire your most lovely feather? How exciting! That's a story worth repeating, I'd say. Dress it up a bit, add a talking frog or two, and you've got yourself a classic tale of subterfuge and adventure. And with this lovely feather, your mask is complete. Now's the time to don your mask and play the game of boasts. Talk with the other three hopefuls, perform together, and then ask each other one question. Your answers must be tales that can wow the crowd, a chance to bond and perfect your act. You'll find the other potentials inside our quarters, the Manor of Masks. We have a talented crop this week, but I'm certain you'll fit right in. Don't forget to wear your mask. We can't force you, of course, but why not get used to it?
I heard your audition was a success. Of course, I knew my daggers would impress. Now, you need to mingle with the other potentials and figure out which one is Laredell. No easy task, given this troop's traditions. As twins, we share a striking resemblance, but all hopefuls wear a mask. Still, I have a suggestion. We were attacked by a griffin when we were little. Laredell pushed me aside to save me and took a wound to his chest. He still has the scar. None come to mind. Say, why don't you take my journal? I've kept numerous notes on my interactions with Laredell, leading up to when he decided to leave for Relanthiel. Perhaps something in there will offer the clues you seek.
No mask? Really? Or is that just amazingly lifelike? No matter, to each his own. You're here to play the game of boasts, aren't you? First, we must perform together. Alchemy didn't explain it. Well, I'm happy to share. First, we must perform as a team so we can learn each other's strengths and weaknesses. Should we both be lucky enough to join the troupe, we'll already know how to put on a performance. Well, let's start simple, shall we? I'll do what I do, and you'll do what you do. Join me and we'll see what we can do together. After that comes the fun part, the boasts. Well, that's the part I consider most fun. That was impressive. You've got quite the talent for juggling. Never could I do that myself. Tried it once and nearly sliced off a finger. Now to the questions. I'll start. Tell me, my deft-fingered friend, where did you grow up? Ha! Lived in a barrel. I love it. That must have been a spacious barrel, my friend. I imagine you felt like a sardine. All right, go ahead. Ask me anything. Oh, yes, all 6 of them. I grew up with a pack of wolves, you see. Lost my parents to a griffin attack when I was 2, but Mama took me in and taught me to hunt and fetch sticks. We still get together and hunt deer every other week. Hold on, that's 2 questions, isn't it? You only get 1. But here's a truth to match my boast. The House of Reveries is amazing. Performing every day, learning new tricks. Why, I used to have to sneak away every time I wanted to practice. Oh, you know how family is. If your ancestors weren't fire breathers, why would you want to be? Well, I wish you the best in your audition for the Grand Maestro. Here's hoping we both get in. Honestly, nothing would please me more.
Well, hello there. Good to see another hopeful join us. Would you like to help me with my performance? I always get a bit drunk before a performance. Helps loosen up the muscles. Swallowing a sword isn't as easy as it looks. There's always the danger it might cut you. A good brew helps my performance and helps me relax. I don't need a juggler. I need an announcer. Someone to sell my act. One thing about swallowing a sword, you can't talk when you do it, which means no one knows how amazing I am. So how about it? Build me up during my act. Just stand at that podium like we're up on stage. Then use your best announcer voice and talk me up to the crowd. Tell them there's no one half so clever as clever, and that they've never seen anyone like me. You've got a great voice. I almost worry you might have oversold me. Now, to the game. Maybe it's the alcohol talking, but you're a fine-looking one, aren't you? Got someone special waiting at home? Tell me, I'm curious. Oh, Meridia, she's always been my favorite, let me tell you. Make sure to tell her I told you that, eh? Huh? Put me on her good side for once. Now then, what's your question? What would you like to know about Clever? Do I? What? Well, that's just rude, isn't it? What, I'm not enough of a mer for you? I'll have you know I'm more than enough for anyone. I'm teasing, silly. I know what you meant, but no, I have no siblings. The troop shall be my family. Very much so. Why, the first day I was here, Loxon gave me one of her very own dresses. Said it was a shame I didn't have anything decent to wear. I near cried. It was so beautiful. Everyone here is just so kind. Same to you, gorgeous. Oh, I just can't wait until we're all accepted. I heard the ceremony afterward is spectacular. Lots of food, lots of drink. You get to try on all sorts of perfumes and fine clothes. Oh, what an amazing night it shall be.
This may sound a little strange, but do you mind helping me out?
You must know, we are competing for the same post. Let me be clear, then, in stating that I do not intend to fail my audition. I will join the House of Reveries. It is my destiny. Still, collaboration never hurts. Care to play the game? Even the most captivating of dances cannot entice an audience without the rhythm of a drum. The soothing sound of drum beats is primal, a reminder of our deepest selves. Yet I cannot drum and dance at the same time, so why not collaborate? Take this drum. 3 rhythm sections lie before you, fast, medium, and slow. I will move through the dances, I know, and you will match my speed on the drum. Match my speed, and we shall impress. Drum too fast or too slow, and we start over. Let's begin! No, that won't do. Let us begin again. Observe my movements and match my speed. Let's begin! And we transition. And again. Keep time. Our performance aligns. Impressive. Come, speak. Your rhythm could use refinement, but I salute your determination. May the best performer join the House of Reveries and become a great name. And now to my question. Who trained you? Dragon priests! I will admit that's a good story. You've a honeyed tongue and a claim to training that will impress the average rube. All right, fair's fair. You may ask me one question in return. What do you wish to know? Aye, 2 siblings, though only one is a sister. Joan and Jode are my twins, and on the nights when the shadow covers the moon, we dance together in the sky above. The thunder you hear on a stormy night, that's us, dancing across the clouds. You think so? I've been practicing my acting skills as well, you know. One never knows what performance he'll have to do next. These days are a far cry from what I was doing. I still have burns from failed fire spells, you know. I'd rather not speak of it. The stage is where I belong, and where I finally am. My past is in the past, and there it shall remain. Thank you for performing with me. Should we both be accepted, I'm glad to know I'll be in fine company.
I know who you seek, hopeful, but you will not find fair Renaid here. She has departed for the moment, which means we can speak freely of your quest to find her brother Laredel. You wish to stop him from joining the House of Reveries. I'm well aware of what she believes. I wonder, though, if either of you have ever considered what Laredel wants. Do you truly wish to force Laredel onto a path he does not wish to walk? Do you believe that best serves the Sapiarchs? Well, then I'm confused. If you believe this, why help her track down her brother? Laredel has made his wishes clear, why not respect them? I know Renaid loves her brother and believes she knows what is best, but his course is not hers to guide. Only if he wishes to speak to her. Right now he does not. Yet I'll admit to a moment of professional curiosity. You have played the game of boasts with the other hopefuls. Which of them do you believe is Laredel? Is he Firebird in disguise? I see. Is it clever, then? Do not be too quick to answer. When you join the House of Reveries, you leave behind all your former identity. For some, this includes the gender they were once known as. So tell me, is Laredel clever? Feathermoth, then? Think carefully of all you know about Laredel, all Renaid has told you, and all you have read in her journal. Yes, I am aware of the journal as well. Is Feathermoth the Mer you both seek? Interesting. You know, of course, I cannot divulge the name of any member of the House of Reveries, hopeful or no. To reveal their identity is grounds for expulsion. Laredel chose his own path. You must ask Renaid to abandon her search. Then tell her this truth, as it was told to me. Laredel has always envied her talent with magic. That envy is why he left, and why he wishes never to see her again. The truth is harsh, but it is my hope it will free Renaid to follow her dreams. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Grand Maestro is gathering our hopefuls in the amphitheater for their final audition. I would prefer you not attend. We have played our game, but there is no place here for a juggler using magic daggers.
Relanthiel has performances, plays, even a bathhouse. The House of Reverie certainly has provided every comfort for their patrons.
Hark! What Maormer magic is this that makes water burn and clouds drip serpents from the sky? Just a taste. For the full performance, you must come and see my evening show. I promise there won't be a dry eye in the house.
Oh, hello. Sorry for wandering away. I've been so worried about finding my brother, I thought I'd take a moment to just breathe. I always find the sea so calming. How goes your search? Were you able to discover which of the hopefuls is Laredel? Oh, drat. I was hoping she wouldn't discover you. She's a mage, you know. We recognize our own, and magic comes off her in waves powerful enough that even a blind novice would notice. Well, what did she say? But that's ridiculous! Laredel and I, we've always been together. The only time we were apart were the 3 minutes between when I was born and he was. No, that's ludicrous. Laredel never envied me. He was better than me. Alchemy is lying to you. Absolutely not. Can you imagine one of the top mages of our generation doing parlor tricks for wine-gobbling nobles? It would be a crime against Summerset. No, we must bring him to his senses. Tell me, what name has he taken here? I see. Perhaps I asked too much of you, involving you in an affair that I should have handled myself. No matter. We shall solve this at the final audition. Once I reveal Laredel with magic, he'll have to leave with me. This
This is bigger than desires, and joining the Sapiarchs isn't just my dream. It was once Laradel's too. We both long to study magic with the best in Summerset, and he's just forgotten. As his sister, as one who loves him, I must remind him. Yes, once his identity is revealed to all, the House of Reveries cannot allow him to join. That is their requirement, is it not? To keep their identity secret? Once the spell they've cast on him is broken, I'm certain Laradel will leave with me. It's now clear Laradel...
I seem to recall asking you not to come. I'm sorry, but I can't allow you to take the stage. I'll publicly withdraw my sponsorship if I have to. However, is everything with Renaid all right? Did you come here to tell me something? She what? Why, that stubborn, unrelenting... Oh, no. We can't cancel, and I can't allow my hopefuls to be unmasked. It would ruin them. Please, take the stage... I know some magic. I can use it to redirect Renaid's spell to unmask you and only you.
May the audition begin. Mage! You dare unmask our hopefuls? Simply unforgivable. You are henceforth banished from Relenthiel. Return and your freedom shall be forfeit.
You? How could you? You betrayed me.
Leave our sacred stage at once, before I have you wrapped in chains. How fortunate that you were the only one caught in that mage's spell. I suspect there's more to this tale than meets the eye.
Lorcan's bits! Did that drab-looking mage really just try to unmask me? Oh, the nerve!
Did that mage really plan to unmask us? Why in Mara's name would she do such a thing? We've all worked so hard for this day.
I don't really understand, but did you just save us from being unmasked? I can't believe you would sacrifice yourself like that. My friend, thank you.
Has she left? Has Renaid departed for Lelandro? Did I do the right thing? Was it right to lie to her about who I was? What if she never forgives me? I suppose there's no denying that now. Though I'd ask you, please, don't share it with the others. When I joined the House of Reveries over a year ago, I gave up being Laradel. I am alchemy, but my sister, well, she had other plans for me. We're twins. We've always been together. But while she loves studying and solitude, I hate it. I love crowds and people and noise. To join the stuffy sapiarchs? There's no greater punishment. Yet Renide craves it. How could I take her dream away? She needs us together. If I refuse to join the sapiarchs and tell her I want to stay here, she'll give up her dream. She'll sacrifice her happiness for mine and be miserable. I can't do that to her. I'm lost. What should I do? Should I tell her? Would that work? Yes, I could send her a letter and explain everything. Once I know she's followed her dream, once I know she's settled. Yes, I'll do that. I'll tell her everything, but only then. Thank you for the idea.
Come to gloat over my misfortune? Or does alchemy simply want to make sure I leave town? No matter. Neither of you need worry about me any longer. My brother wants nothing to do with me, and I'll respect that. I depart for Lilandril today. So my persistence has finally convinced my brother to speak to me? Or is this simply another warning to never again contact the sibling who is like my other half? No matter. Laredale has obviously turned his back on me. Deliver your message. If he's willing to talk in a letter, why can't he talk to me in person? No matter. This is no longer your concern, but you did aid me. You deserve recompense. Take this and consider our business concluded.
I regret hurting Renide, but I know now she'll find happiness. Once I explain, once we're both where we need to be, she'll understand. Oh, and feel free to visit me in the Manor of Masks sometime. I'd like to stay in touch.
I just love spending my holidays in Relenthiel. I'll watch a performance, have a nice meal, and end my trip with a day in the bathhouse.
So, you're the one that saved the Queen, eh? You don't look that special.
I finally decide to pursue true art, to move beyond painting backdrops for someone else's stage. And what models do I find? Polished, unblemished, all round boringly beautiful. I need someone who will give my work meaning, a depth of morality. As a matter of fact, I do. I've heard rumors of a Hulkind in the forest outside Relenthiel, a perfect subject for my work. I'd like you to serve as my proxy and arrange a meeting between us. The sinkhole nearby should serve my purpose. High elves who were cast out from their families as children. A horrible fate in our society. Summerset may appear as perfect as a pastoral painting, but darkness lies backstage. I want to face our taboos without blinking. Will you help me? Thank you for accepting my offer. I traveled to the Hulkind myself, but the wilderness is no place for an artist. Besides, they may be more willing to talk to a newcomer such as yourself. The Hulkind are well known for being distrustful. High elves strive for perfection in all things, and their bloodline most of all. Hulkins are children abandoned by their families for some perceived imperfection, generally a physical deformity. They're more than just orphans. They're outcasts. In Summerset, family stands above all. They guide your life, almost immeasurably. To be without family is to be unseen, unrecognized as a member of our society. There's not much of a life a Hulkin can make for themselves because of that. I will admit it's an odd desire. Most don't even wish to speak of them. But as an artist, I find myself fascinated with the subject. I want to capture that taboo, to paint the morally grey, where so many only wish for black and white.
Enough, Silery. These mysterious deaths are our business to solve, not yours.
Little busy at the moment. You know, now's not the time to be wandering around, what with the gruesome killings and clueless investigators. Could wind up dead, or answering questions until you wish you were. From what I gather,
Soldiers at Caton Keep have been disappearing in the night, only to have their desiccated bodies show up days later. The garrison's completely spooked. I came to look into it, but the Divine Prosecution beat me here. We don't exactly see eye to eye when it comes to hunting baddies, so now they're going to spend weeks questioning soldiers and measuring footprints, while more people get turned to jerky. Actually, maybe you could help me with that? I really thought I was going to have to do a lot more convincing. Helping strangers break into keep's a hobby of yours. Odd hobby. What I really need is a distraction. If you can keep Lindefway at the gate, busy for a minute, I can handle the rest. I have a document saying I'm an inspector sent by the Proxy Queen to investigate. But since Lindefway and everyone else in there knows that's not true, I can't use it. You, though. Show it to Lynn, act all high society, and waltz right in. Doesn't matter. It'll buy me time to sneak past either way. If you do get inside, all the better. We can partner up. I'm sure you'll do fine. It helps if you imagine a really big stick up your spine. Straight back. Perfect. All right, Royal Inspector. Off you go. Just talk like you've never interacted with an actual person at any point in your life. We'll put a stop to these killings, and maybe not even get arrested. Fun, right? The Divine Prosecution are great at stopping crime and rooting out sedition. But stuff like this, things that go bump in the night, that's when you need a specialist. I'm very special. It's a hobby. Well, more of a lifelong calling that leaves me little time for hobbies, but I'm doing what I love, and in my own way, and I'm really good at it. Not that the Divine Prosecution would ever admit it. The Divine Prosecution cordoned off the area, and like I said, they're not big fans of me. I may have been a bit indelicate when I suggested they collectively had the hunting sense of a blind cliff racer. These things happen. They keep the peace in Summerset, mostly by making sure no one steps out of line. When something's amiss, they investigate and kick the problem in the teeth, if need be. Too dogmatic, though. Who cares about procedure when lives are on the line? Only slightly, and the Order has bigger concerns at the moment. Once it's clear you're not a suspect, I'm sure they'd let you off with a stern warning, but we're not. This keep has been ordered sealed by the Divine Prosecution, pending the completion of your way. That's interesting, because investigating these killings is obviously the jurisdiction of the Divine Prosecution, so something tells me you're full of Griffin guano. Give me one reason why I shouldn't hold you for questioning. Let me see those. It looks official. I don't know who you are, but this investigation is clearly under our purview. This is about politics, isn't it? Always politics. Of course you can't. Fine, go inside. I won't stand in your way, but stay out of mine. You must have clenched pretty hard to sell those forged papers to the likes of Lynn. Relax, before you sprain something. Now all we have to do is find and kill a murderous Daedra that's evaded capture for weeks. Easy, right? Most killers don't suck out all your organs and leave a corpse with the consistency of stale bread. Mortal ones, anyway. And neither do vampires, for that matter. Aside from that, I have my methods of sniffing out Daedra. Well, when you expose the stem of an attuned Wilderking rod to air that someone breathed in the presence of a Daedra, it glows orange. Also, my latest Squabblood scribing said, you know what, just watch and learn. I'm getting to that. Don't rush me. Just stand back and don't radiate any palpable evil, all right? This is a little trick I picked up in Coral. Stendar, shine your righteous light on those that would flee your justice. Show me where evil lurks, and I will deliver retribution. 2 lights. There's not supposed to be... All right, whatever. I'll follow this one. Follow that light and see where it leads you. Then meet me inside the refectory. Go, go!
I could use a break.
This one has not had to clean up after one of these killings, for which he is grateful. Though he has heard there is not much to clean up, so perhaps not.
Please don't bother the captain. Battle Reaver Reese has been very demanding of her since all the trouble started.
So much to do, so little time.
Ah, the Plus. Welcome. 2 arrests in 1 day. This is going to reflect well on my next report. Oh, did you? Well, let me see it then. The Insatiable, is it? Who writes this rubbish? Grisly rubbish at that. I'll admit the methods are similar to our case, but this still doesn't prove the presence of an actual Daedra. Where did you find this? I was never informed of any architectural eccentricities. Something the garrison will answer for. So that spell might have some merit. Silery claims it was leading her to a Daedra hiding in the cellar. Are you willing to stake your freedom on that? To be clear, when all is said and done with this, I'm arresting you anyway. But I'll indulge this line of inquiry. If you're right, I'm sure your cooperation will reflect favorably in your trial. Fleeing will not. Am I understood? Release her.
But, sir!
Now.
This is a mistake!
We're all done being idiots? Good. Let's find this Daedra.
This is going to end badly.
Now, children, this might be fun.
This light will reveal the Daedra. Be ready.
More outsider magic. Reckless Silery.
Have a little faith, High. It's tracking something.
A dead end. How embarrassing.
No! After her!
Can't say I didn't warn them. Come on!
Fan out! That thing can't have gone far.
Fan out? Why? I thought you didn't believe me. Check down the hall. I'll see what I can find up ahead.
Wait your turn, morsel. You'll meet the insatiable soon enough.
Well, I think we might be on the right track. Ow. Our Daedra summoner, no doubt. No one I recognize. Begs questions, but that can wait. Give chase and find Lindefway. Silery went after her, but there was an awful lot of screaming. Through those doors. Down where we keep the wine. This place, it's Katan, but different. I'm probably not making much sense, am I? Helping the others falls to you now. Terribly sorry about that.
God, it's going to eat me! Hayakil! Anyone, help me!
It's trying to slip away into the real world. I'll hold it as long as I... Chew on that for a while, gut-sucker.
Silery, you saved me.
Don't look so surprised. Come on, let's get out of here.
You live? This won't do. This won't do.
The summoner, she's getting away. Lynn, can you hold this portal open?
Why? Where are you going?
Find that mage and kick her ass. I'm going back for High.
You'll be trapped. Why does she never listen? I can't hold it. Damn it! That was such a stupid, reckless... Damn it, Silery! I can't let her lord this over me. We have to save them. She must be hiding in these ruins. Wait,
I know where we are. These ruins are right under the nose of Katan Keep. Silery and I explored here as children. We always did love mysteries. Our mothers hated it. We'd come home covered in clay. So, the mage got into Katan Keep through here somehow. Was that her reason for coming here? We still don't know our suspect. Her motives? Barely anything, really. Gods, this investigation has really gotten away from me. A conspiracy? Now that's something I can grasp. The tone of this letter suggests our perpetrator can't afford to simply go into hiding. We're backing her into a corner. That'll make her desperate. What's that? I just felt a ripple of magicka, like the opening of those portals, but much larger. I think the others are in danger. It came from that way, across the bridge. Hurry! No signs to Raniel, but this is definitely the epicenter of the magic I felt. There's still power clinging to this Aldma altar. It must be the bridge she is using to travel to and from the realm of that thing. Theoretically, from what little I know about opening portals to Daedric realms, there's typically an object here, in Tamriel, that is attuned to the place in question. This Aldma altar is the only thing I'm getting a strong feeling from. Not as it is. If this is a bridge, then Taraniel has barred and locked the gates. We need to undo her spell, then I should be able to recreate the ritual to open the way for us. In my experience, most cultists tend to just ape whatever spells and rituals someone else developed. That letter you showed me mentioned books from her benefactor. You found one for Daedra's summoning. It stands to reason there's another for this. Well, that was dramatic. That's it! It reeks of that monster's realm. I'll hold it open. Go. Ugh, it feels like worms wriggling through my soul. I can do this. I can do this. What are you waiting for? Go!
You? Again? How did you reach this place? I won't let you I'll feed your corpse to the insatiable.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Somehow.
This way! Quickly! I can't hold this open for long.
Well, I've had my fill of this place. Let's excuse ourselves before any more dinner guests arrive.
I might fast for a month after this.
I'm going to take the longest bath, long enough to grow gills, and spend half my weekly wage on scented oils. Whatever it takes to get the stench and feel of that place out of my skin.
I didn't think I'd see you again after we parted ways before. I'm pleased to be wrong for once. Lindefway, Silery, and I all owe you our lives.
Thanks for stopping that Daedra-loving loony from sucking out my soul. You took a big risk sticking your neck out for us. But what are recent acquaintances for, right? Guess I owe Lynn, too. Not going to live that down. We'll be fine. It's not the first time someone has tried to drain and devour my soul. Happens more often than you'd think, actually. Hazards of the job. As for Hai, I think he's secretly enjoying all this excitement. She was raving about her work not being done, and how she was going to use our desiccated husks to restore the insatiable. I sort of tuned it out at a certain point, but got the impression she wasn't doing all this for her own amusement. No surprise there. Daedra worshippers always seem to work in groups. How do they even meet? Single cultist postings on the local bulletin boards? Bet they're hiding them under the crafting writs. Looks like someone got bitten by the hunting bug on this little adventure. Savor your victory, killer. Caton Keep is safe again thanks to you. Judging by these results, I should rope random strangers into my work more often. Kidding. Now that the immediate danger's past, I will want to get back to combing through the details of what transpired here. It'll be really boring. Like, really boring. But since you got us back on speaking terms, I'll help Lynn and Hai investigate. Hey, don't go rubbing my nose in it. It wasn't easy fighting off Daedra with Hai slumped over my shoulder. You'd think he'd make a better shield with that hard head of his. That mage got the drop on us while we were licking our wounds. You'll want to talk to Hai about that, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. The divine prosecution doesn't welcome outside perspectives with open arms. If you think Hai and Lynn can be stuffy, you should see their superiors. Well, Lynn and I grew up around here. We always had a knack for sticking our noses where they didn't belong, so the divine prosecution was a natural fit. For her, anyway. Too rigid for me, so I left. There were some hard feelings. He's our mentor. Was my mentor. Loves his work, and he's a good person, but he clings too tightly to protocol. He and were always more than colleagues to me. We were friends. We'll stick by each other, but the divine prosecution has a long way to go before they take back the likes of me. Not that I'd want to go back anyway.
You broke more than a dozen statutes with your antics today. Regulations state that I should place you under arrest, but I'm thinking we haven't been following much procedure today anyway. Thank you for your assistance in this investigation. I should have, shouldn't I? She was once among the best members of the divine prosecution, but too cavalier for most, and far too interested in unconventional methods for our superiors' tastes. For my tastes. She believed the prosecution would be better served by employing methods devised outside of Summerset. Foreign ideas, foreign magic. She faced censure many times. Frustrated, Silery left the Order to strike out on her own. Won't let me off that easy, eh? Right. I didn't believe her because I didn't want to believe she was right. Because I still resented her selfishness in walking out on her duty. And on us. Nindefway and I didn't agree with her, but we stuck by her. She was right. We are stubborn and stolid. If we continue to believe our way is the only way, we're going to be unprepared for the changes ahead. The Queen's decree will bury us. Convincing the divine prosecution of that, it'll be a long, hard road. Yes, I imagine you do. You've earned that, right? What in particular do you want to discuss? From what Lindefway told me about what you found, I do have a theory, but you didn't hear it from me. In fact, I would suggest you do not repeat it to anyone who you do not implicitly trust. I believe this is the Court of Bedlam's doing. A secret society I've only caught hints of. Very influential. More than one of my investigations has ended prematurely because I caught a whiff of them. I can't prove that, of course, but a justiciar knows. If you cross paths with them, be careful. Nothing good, I wager. I don't know what they're after, but this is not the first time I've seen the heretics wield Daedra to their ends. Where there are Daedra, trouble is sure to follow. Silery is going to be very busy when we find them. A trip to the apothecary and the keep's wine rations, not necessarily in that order. Fortunately, I don't need to be fighting fit to review evidence. I hope that by the time Lindefway, Silery, and I are fully on the mend, we'll have some solid leads. Not directly. It's an official investigation. People will be watching. I need to tread carefully. You have good instincts, a sense of justice, and the might to wield it. When all is said and done, I suspect we'll only arrive to clean up after you. By all means. I'm not going anywhere. Quickly, at any rate. Closed, for now. Lindefway bridged us here for our safety. I imagine Tyranniel did something similar to enter Caton Keep undetected. A dreadfully potent ability in the wrong hands, as we've seen. The books you found will need to be sealed away. Its purpose wasn't to open the portal, though its power does pose some concerns. It would be hearsay to destroy an Aldmer artifact, but I will recommend that those ruins be patrolled regularly from now on.
I'm not good at apologies, but I'm sorry for doubting you and Silery. Maybe, just maybe, we were wrong to reject her choice to pursue foreign magic. While her methods are unorthodox, they get results. She was always trying to convince our superiors that there was value to the methods other cultures used against crime and heresy. She'd be in a cell if Hierarchiel hadn't always stuck his neck out for her, and she just turned her back on him. On us. After a spat with the Chief Justiciar about a case we were working, she threw down her oath and stormed out. She never even said goodbye. I didn't think I'd ever forgive her for that, and honestly, I haven't. But I know she still cares. I know. I would have lost them both today if not for you. It's a hard thing to forgive, much harder than to judge. Gods, no! This has been a civilized place for as long as I can remember. Our days were mostly settling petty disputes and policing troublesome speech. Now there's all sorts of madness about. I fear it'll get worse before it gets better. Immigrants are flooding to Summerset, and even the most well-intentioned trample our customs with astounding ignorance. We saved a lot of lives with what we did today, but we left centuries of procedure in shambles. Then we have the conspiracy afoot. You think I'm blind to that? I know it must seem that I judge foreigners too harshly, but remember that until recently I only brought justice to my fellow kin who strayed. On my oath, Tyranniel's accomplices will meet justice. She was always trying to convince us. I know. I would have lost them both today if not for you. So I did. Silery was never one for idle study, and she's always had a forceful personality, so she used to drag me out exploring, searching for mysteries and being a general nuisance. It grew on me. Our favorite spot was those secluded ruins. Aldmer ruins are never short on tough mysteries to crack. Our theories were dreadful, but we could lose entire days on our investigations. It was also the perfect place not to be found if we didn't want to be. I can see why it appealed to Tyranniel.